Hello. Sorry for the slight delay at the beginning there. My microphone refused to work because of course it did. And I had to do some problem solving. But here we are. Here we are with two cameras, a Po2, and a Teapot. So, just to give you a better Teapot view, I'm just going to move it forward a bit here. This is sort of the hexagonal overall shape lid. I've let it, it's stiff, but it's not leather hard. And I've sort of beveled the base a little bit just to give it some interest. I can pick it up without crushing it, so it's set enough to be sturdy. It's large. In fact, it's large enough that maybe I bring the camera up a little farther away for this particular stream. That's actually better. That's so I should have made it slightly shorter, but I didn't. I used measurements to make the pattern, but I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Anyway, this is the Teapot that I have made. And that's what we're going to work with today because, as you can see, it's taking up most of the space on my work table. And I've covered most of the other surfaces in my house with drying pottery. I've started removing knickknacks from the mantle and replacing them with like Minoan votive cows. So yeah, it's a really, I'm getting better at making really good clean shapes with slabs instead of kind of wonky ones. And I'm feeling pretty good about the general clean lines of my hex bolt teapot. So if you were paying attention, okay, you know what? We need to rearrange things a little bit because I've just realized. Okay, Po2 is just going to have to go today because I've realized that my banner is on top of my second camera. There it is. Okay. Okay, Po2, you can probably come back. You fit. There we go. Just arranging my things. Hello, Get to Know Nature. Hello, Necro Buffalo. It's been a while since you were in chat. It's good to see you. They Might Be Scientist, Artcraft. Hello, everyone. We're going to cover a teapot and lizards. Also, we're going to put some sort of handle on it because I haven't done that yet because I wanted to do it last because every time I do it kind of midway through, I break it off. So I thought that maybe I wouldn't this time. Maybe I would be clever and think ahead. Now I'm looking for some reference in my pile of reference over here to the side, which is mostly just a bunch of random drawings and printed out. I swear I had skinks somewhere in here. Have I lost them? That's possible. It's fine. There's just a large pile of paper next to me is I guess what you're missing. Ah, there they are. Found them. Narrate digging through piles of art. So, sketches of skinks, printout of skinks on a thing that was originally for something else. But then we also have the possibility of geckos, a page of gecko drawings, And I have a large plastic tokay gecko because of course I do. So he's gonna be the mascot today. He can just hang out. Let me see if I can get him on a second camera. There we go. So it's skinks or geckos. I feel like are the two kinds of things that make sense. I quite like geckos, but I have already done a gecko on top of a teapot once. That doesn't mean I'm not willing to do it again. Just saying that there's already a teapot with a gecko on my dining room table right now. Although it's already been bisque fired, so it's ahead of the curve of everything else in my house. So it's the thing about geckos is that they stick to the sides of things really pleasingly. So sticking them to the sides of the hex makes sense. On the other hand, most lizards can scramble up the side of fences and stuff. So I'm not sure there's a big difference. Geckos have really good faces, which where do I set the focus to? No one knows. Well, I can change it. I have the power. Geckos have really good little faces. There. Oh, too far. Got too excited. There he is. Which they have like good little smiles. So they might be scientists. There's a reason I chose geckos and skinks because here's a thing that I've discovered, and I discovered it making a really lovely, really not that useful passion flower mug. Things with spines like iguanas, anything that has fiddly sticking up fragile bits, not great for useful pottery. They make sharp edges, and they make things that are likely to break, and they make a thing harder to use. So I've limited our. You said I have printout information. I have geckos and skinks printed out. Those are the options. Because that's what I've prepared for. So it's okay to be excited about lizards. I'm looking for a tool that I can't find. Carry on, chat, while I try and there. No, that's not. There it is. Carry on while I'm going to tidy up a seam. So the debate is skinks and geckos. It's fair to be excited about lizards. I just from experience, I am aware that sculpting from anything that I try and open on my laptop or my phone while live streaming is nearly impossible. So I have pre-created reference, but only for two things. And that's what we got. I mean, we could kind of have both, but at the same time, I'd glaze them differently, I think. And there's something to be said for the fun of just having a ton of lizards all over a teapot. So yeah, the benefit of geckos is that they can have quite fat tails, which means I could have overlap with the lid, for example, and have a seam where it cut and not have it be super obvious. Whereas with for example, a skink, they have like a blue tail skink, have like very long, thin, attractive tails, but they're quite fiddly. So if I had a seam there, it would look like someone had cut off its tail. So there's pros and cons to all approaches, and the first task is to pick one. As I tidy up my seams a little bit. Oh. I've been trying to keep this edge sharp, and every time I do anything, it gets a little bit blunter, and I have to go back in and sharpen it again. Hello there, Figments Made. So, skinks or geckos is the question, Figments Made, that we're answering. We have a vote, I think, for skinks. It might be Scientists is excited about skinks. They feel extra special when she sees one. And that's fair. We had skinks all over growing up where I lived. So, okay, so 2 votes for skinks. Skink reference. I mean, all lizards are great. In fact, we're really just picking what lizard we want to see made right now, between geckos and skinks. Skinks have fun patterns. No, Hannah. What you see is skinks. Skink drawings. So all lizards are good, but we're choosing between skinks and geckos, and skinks appear to have the upper hand. So lizard is just a snake with legs. Their faces are a little different. Having done a lot of drawings of both now, since I've covered a teapot in snakes and now I'm covering one in lizards. So, as we've decided this, I've finished most of my tea. For reference, it's the Cursed Unicorn cup again. And Earl Grey tea. A teapot made of snakes. That's a whole other thing. I could also do that. I have that power. I feel like that's definitely a thing that you could do. You would just use coils, and instead of smoothing them out on the outside, you'd give them scales. So, I'm hearing skinks. Skinks feel like the general thing that folks want. So, let's put our geckos away. And put up our skink reference where it's good and visible. Held up by all the stuff behind my camera. All right. So, just move the teapot out of the way a bit. And get some clay out to make some skinks. I will need more clay later. We'll start with that lump because I already had it on top for making the teapot. I've kind of tidied, but not really. So I'm gonna briefly try, and there we go. That'll. And basically, it's just to eliminate these little bits of dried clay because they'll get stuck in what I'm working on and create dents. There we go. That's a little bit better. The evil vacuum cleaner for... All cats hate vacuum cleaners, I assume. My cat certainly does. Okay. Clay prep. Oh, and while we're here, focus adjustment. Although, are we going to work mostly? Yeah, we're going to work mostly up here. I'm just going to leave the focus where it is. Let's see. I'm feeling like probably skinks are going to need not that much clay. Let's start with half that and hope that that's correct. Want them to be kind of small, not like hilariously small. Not all of them anyway, but I mean, you know, skinks are like yay long. They're not little garden skinks. So much like making the snakes, it's going to be a lot of rolling coils. The good thing about skinks in this setting, in this scenario, stuck to a thing. I made a skink long ago. I sculpted one sort of towards the end of a stream, and that skink broke in many places when it was fired. Its tail and its toes were just too small and fine. I'm not sure if it broke being moved in and out or if it broke in the actual process because I didn't unload that kiln, but they are not ideal shapes for standalone sculptures in ceramic. Certainly not in the clay that I was using. Possibly if I had done more to keep the toes close together and maybe used a different clay. I don't know. But because they're stuck to a surface, their tail and toes are going to be extra supported by that surface. So we want to make sure that we attach them really well so they don't lift off. Which is why I didn't let this get leather hard. Because I want there to still be moisture in the clay to make a good sort of sticky attachment. And then hopefully that will make a really safe skink where you can see all of its tiny fiddly little toes and they don't break off. Also, as you may remember, we're using the buff with sand, so I don't know how hilariously small we can get before it crumbles apart and I get mad. Just I'm like, now I'm slab building with it because I'm just like, I've got to use 50 pounds of clay that I don't like. What am I gonna do? I guess I'm gonna roll slabs. It's actually quite nice for slab building, it turns out. Many of the things I hate about it when I do sculpture seem to help it create a good sturdy support for slabs. Oh yeah, I don't have to make them hollow. They're already slender. I feel like this is already too much clay. I feel like I did not need. I wonder, maybe what I'll do. I'll turn it into two. I'll have it. I'll have it taper on both sides. I'll do another tail over here. And then it will be two skinks. Double it, yeah. I don't. That's it. I don't. I'm quite proud of how clean my teapot shape is, so I kind of don't want to obscure its really clean geometric shape too much. It's not. It's going to be interesting because it's clearly not an organic shape, and I'm going to cover it with organic things anyway. So sort of like the one I did with the birds and rivets. I feel like it's going to have to be kind of a a natural versus mechanical kind of theme where they're clearly climbing on something. Ah, the quail call commences. Hello, Shep. Okay. The trick is, I think I'm going to leave the tail a little bit thick and then kind of relief sculpt it thinner. Because I feel like I'm just going to break it if I try and sculpt like around a really thin tail already. I feel like it's just going to crumble. And I'm going to complain about the clay again. Everyone will be bored. No one wants to hear that happen. I see the quail roll call has commenced in the chat. Has everyone sounded off? It would, in fact, be appropriate if the tail fell off, but still sad and less fun later. But let's see. I'm starting to feel like I could have gone even smaller. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's okay. Cut in half. I've just realized that a not insignificant number of my tools are on the kitchen counter. Great planning. Because I washed them and put them there. So I may have to take a break early to retrieve my tools. Oh, I'm glad the cameras are in sync. Hello, Unicorn Duke. Made it for quail roll call. So no, I've cleared away all of the goldfish. No goldfish are currently interfering with my tools. I've moved all of the goldfish to the mantle. Delicately, carefully. I really needed my needle tool back. And it had a goldfish on it for far too long. And originally the idea was that that's how I would delicately and carefully transport the goldfish to the kiln, but now that's not going to happen for Lord knows how long. So I needed a better solution. So I'm kind of approaching this the same way I approached the snakes, which is sort of pinching the head shape and letting that create kind of the neck and shoulders. I kind of want to needs to be longer because it's a lizard, but not, it's a skink, so not too, that's feeling pretty good. Still feels a little large. May need to try for smaller skinks for the next ones, but he'll do. He'll do for the first skink. Perhaps he's the lid skink. Perhaps he comes around Like that. You cannot see that. I'm fully off camera. Comes around like that. Oh dear. And you know what? I think I might attach him pretty close to this stage. I think I'll do the face. And then let's see. There's like a divot for where the back legs go. Just to try and separate those things out. But I feel like I might, let's see, let's get the eyes in place here. Like there. No, they feel like they should be farther forward actually. It's true. If I had moved to North Carolina, we could be firing replica cows in a pit in the ground. But I actually quite like California. I'm afraid. So maybe like there-ish for eyes. Yeah, that feels about right. Now let's see. A little sketch on a mouth. They have sort of their little eardrums right there. Yes, good. I stopped, left to read back on chat quickly. Someone was talking about fiber, and I'm curious. Ah, Unicorn Duke is knitting merino, or I think knit. I don't know. Knitting was never mentioned. Just fiber. All right. Spinning. Aha. That was what I missed. Thank you. Thank you, Unicorn. There it is. Oh, I found it. Sorry, chat. I try and keep up, but sometimes I'm drawing the mouth on a lizard. This is me like what tools do I have access to? what tools can I use to do the thing I want to do? This will be fine. I need to do some shaping of his little face. There we go. Because I need to get like a little nostrils, and then do they also have that little snake? I feel like they do. I feel like they've got that little snake kind of, yeah, that little snake lip going on. Slabs. Oh, I mentioned slabs earlier. Slabs are, do I have any just laying around? Yes. Slabs are when you roll clay. sit there for a minute, skink. When you roll clay out into, these are just leftover bits. They're not very useful, but I've kept them in case I want to make something small. You roll clay out into a flat surface, like a flat slab. It usually about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit more, like 3/8 of an inch. And then you cut patterns out of that as if you were building something with wood or cardboard. And you use it to construct, for example, a hexagon. And it gives you kind of a different set of construction difficulties, but also possibilities. It's good for non-organic shapes. It's really good for it's also good for building, sort of like the sheep teapot that I did started as slabs. So it's good for quickly building a larger form that you can then alter as you like, as it sort of gets a little bit drier. You want slabs to be a firmer clay than you would use, for example, for sculpting or for throwing on a wheel. Which is kind of why this clay was good for it, because as you can see, as I try and deform it, it's cracking. So I think if I tried to do too much, making this like a sphere, it wouldn't work. But because the sand gives it sort of vertical support, that sort of cracking issue doesn't happen, and it sort of helps keep it sturdy. Okay. I'm trying to get a really good little face shape before I stick him on. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and try this thing where I adhere him now, and then do legs and sculpt the tail sort of onto the thing, because the lid is not, I can just remake a lid if I need to. It's not as important as the teapot body. So we're doing it this way. So that we can test our hypothesis. Oh, you know what else is in the kitchen? My little rake for scoring and slipping. Can't wait till I get to take that break and make more tea and pick up all of my tools from the paper towel on the counter. Ah, poor planning. Ah, well. And I felt so proud of myself for like doing all of the cleaning of the tools. I forgot a step. It's all right. This will let me use my less favorite tools. My other tools can start to feel like they've got purpose. Like they too are cherished. Because I'll be honest, I've got like 3 or 4 favorite tools that I kind of use for everything. The rest kind of have limited application. But I mean, you know, sometimes you need a curved dental tool. Mostly not, but sometimes. So yeah, let me know if you have any other clay process questions. I like answering those. Slab building is super fun. I'm getting better at it. I designed this hexagonal teapot because I couldn't roll large slabs on my small desk without the slab roller at the studio that I no longer have access to for the moment. So I'm gonna make a lot of slab built non-cone shapes for a while, I think. All right, just really squish this down. Really flatten that lizard. There we go. I really want to be sure that it's well adhered. Because what I don't want is for this tail to lift up off of the lid. Start to drift kind of away. Because a lot of times these thin bits, and I'm going to alter it, but like they'll start to pull away as they dry or as they fire the first time. And then you'll get this fragile little sticking up bit. And we don't want that. We want sturdy, well adhered skinks is what we want. So good. Working on that seal. There we go. Yep, you're on there pretty good. Pretty good. Am I? It's time to adjust the focus. Is it? Where did my mouse go? No one knows. What's fun is trying to use your mouse left-handed when you're right-handed. There we go. Okay. It's time for... Oh no, reading glasses and headphones. It's time for the looking at things up close glasses. While I tidy up underneath. That's pretty good. I just want him. I want him to have like his head sort of cleanly lifted off. Looking up. Okay. Taking off the glasses. Can read the chat again. It's kind of an either or thing. Okay. So, kind of want that tail to thin way out. So, ooh, I have tools for that. Aha. So the idea with this plan is that this really thin tail will be really, really well adhered to the lid now. So that when we get, when we get down here, what we're doing is trimming it down to the point where we're sort of just dealing with the bit that's really like well stuck down. That way, we don't have to worry about it pulling up or breaking, cracking, because ideally it's super connected to the lid or the body of the teapot when we get to later skinks. But that's gonna mean we have to remove quite a bit of clay and make a bit of a mess. And it's going to be a trick to make it nice and smooth as a taper, which is a lot easier to do by just rolling it out. Oops. Yep. Cut too hard. Sculpture by removal is not my favorite process. I'm not particularly good at it, it turns out. I'm a little bit awkward with it compared to squidging clay around. But as smooth as a tapier. Oh. Blame the clay. Yeah, no, I've never been a great carver. Like I'm not a good subtractive sculptor. My brain does not really work that way. It's always been that way. I accept this about myself. There's my brush. It's fine. Sometimes you've got to do what the subject calls for. I'm getting bits of clay everywhere. Let's see if we can clean that up some. Because they're also getting dry and crunchy already. Because they're tiny. But I don't want them in the way of rolling future skinks. Okay. The inside curve feels good. Now we just have to fix the outside curve. Yeah, I know someone who got bitten by a tapir and had to get rabies shots, which I wasn't aware was a thing. I mean, both that you could get bitten by a tapir and that tapir could carry rabies. I surprised on both counts. If anyone is concerned, this was in Peru, so don't worry. You probably won't have that happen to you. You're probably safe from the tapirs. It's probably fine. But if you ever see a tapir just wandering around, be careful. That's part of my moderator's job, is to remind me of weird and exciting stories that I have not yet told you. I guess I hadn't told you about the tapir rabies. Good. New story for the day. It's a thing that happens, I guess. Okay. I recognize that me carving out the tail on this is not that exciting. That would have been amazing, Hannah, if you'd been like, what about the didn't you tell me a story about a tapir? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, the one with the rabies. Oh, no? Still no? Huh. Well. How awkward. But no, don't worry. It was definitely me with the tapir story. Yeah, they might be scientists. I legitimately don't know if that was a thing that could happen and they were sure of it, or if it was just like a weird precaution, or what. Possibly everyone was just so confused by the behavior of this particular tapir that they were like, well, let's be extra cautious about it. That's never happened before. I don't know. I too would not have expected a tapir bite to be the most dangerous thing to happen in the land of like the world's most poisonous snakes. But what can you do? They might be scientists. I was under the impression that possums could, but generally speaking, their body temperature was too low. Like, there was an off chance that possibly a possum could, but yeah, that their body temperature was too naturally low to support it easily. Well. So, discovered sort of the intrinsic problem with this process is that I'm scraping up the lid around this tail pretty thoroughly. You may need to be a little bit more delicate with it on the side of the teapot. Also, I would like it to not take this long. And other skinks need to shorten the process somehow. But you know what? I'm just gonna add some water. We've gotten to the point where it's getting like a sandy mess here. Ah, there we go. I'm just gonna tidy it all up with water. Ah, chat still on rabies. I see. Oh, good. There's a whole article on the warning signs in cattle. Oh dear. What are the warning signs in cattle? How does one... Oh yeah, Australia was pretty militant about not letting it into the country. They really did not want that to happen. Oh well, maybe Australia was like, look, we have our own. That's enough. Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna see if I can make it work. My idea may not be a good one, but it's one that I'm trying anyway. I'm gonna kind of draw the rest of this tail on. Just very lightly. Very lightly into the surface around it. Because I just want it to be longer. I don't know if it will read well. But it's a good test for maybe toes later. No, it definitely just looks like it's does not work. It just looks like it's drawn. Just looks like it's being drawn on. It's a good template. We'll add a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Rabbit, kangaroo, rabbit. Oh my goodness. I feel like I've started something I regret now. Oh no. Skunk spraying the air conditioner intake sounds like a really sort of exceptionally problematic scenario. I want more skink tail is what's happening here, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that happen. Oh no. Kitten in a skunk fight, that sounds so bad. In so many different ways. She was not smart. Fair enough. Okay. Just gonna see what I can do here. Combination of adding and subtracting clay until we finally get something like what the goal was. Okay. That feels a lot more appropriately skink length to me. So I'm happy about that. Now I will attempt to refine it without stabbing his little face. Because, you know, I tried to get the details in there already. Although there. They might be scientists just continuing to regale us with the fun of skunks. Coworkers running around trying to shoo a skunk out of the barn, which sounds like it was doomed to failure from the beginning. Oops. Barn cat, 90% fluff, 10% chutzpah. Okay. Getting there. This is the learning tale. Barn cat, we've learned, is very cute. But not bright. Not bright but cute. Hannah, did you say tiny lizard inside the teapot? I mean, possible, but problematic. Oh, inside the tail of the larger lizard. Oh, I don't know. We gotta get the feet in there first. Figure out how we're gonna do feet and legs. Cause this has taken some time. It's rare that I have a use for this tool, but when I do have a use for this tool, it's basically the best and only tool for the job. Today is its day. There we go. Working out that curve. We get a little bit narrower there. Let's see if we can compensate for that. Okay. Nearly there. Got some tidying to do in the corner. But we pretty much have the tail. At last. Spooning lizards. Yeah, I think this is a dental tool. I'm not sure. I picked it up at like a flea market antique fair. And it has one specific use, but that use it's very good at. Hello, Tenchi 3. Is skink, not snick. Is skink that has yet to achieve legs. But it will get there. One day. Okay. So, just gonna. So I'm feeling pretty good about the tail being really well adhered. I don't think it's going to lift off, and that's what we want because we want to be able to give them thin little tails that won't break. So we want to be able to use the teapot for tea. It can be awkward to use for tea, but not just problematic. So, sand. So I'll take a moment to complain about the sand. Okay. Okay, let's tidy up, make some legs. We'll leave this here for now. Okay. Well, so they have tiny fiddly little legs, which is another thing to try and figure out how to deal with. Because they have tiny fiddly little legs and sort of long, also thin toes. So let's see if we can figure out how to make its little legs. Ah, curses. Teapot is in the way. And I stabbed it with my fingernail. Now I'm gonna have to fix it. Fingernails are the most dangerous thing about pottery. Fine. Do. Intermission while I repair damage that I did with my fingernail. Guess what other tools are in the kitchen? The wooden ones. Okay. Okay, back to the back row you go. I was gonna keep you on camera, but no. Turns out it's too dangerous. We have a snake teapot. We've made a snake teapot. It's been done. Okay, yes, good. So. Go with about that long. I realize that this is ignoring the feet, but there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Promise. They still feel a little bit. Yep. Still a bit too sturdy. Yeah, we've made so many. There's a snake teapot that's done. There's the sheep teapot that's just, I guess, trapped now forever alone in the storage room at the studio. One day One day we will return. But not this day. There's a bird and rivets teapot that's half glazed that's still at the studio. We're working in a weird pottery void at the moment. Nothing ever gets finished. We can only start things and hope. Okay. Let's just... Okay. Just gonna say okay 5 or 6 more times. When I clearly don't mean it. Okay. So. They've got kind of a long neck, and their little legs kind of come in like way back here. Okay, okay. And they kind of angle back. Kind of like that. Okay. I am stuck on it now. Okay. Okay, so. Just putting legs on. It's that it's that element of needing something to bridge the gap of silence. But my brain being like, no, we have to think about this. It's like you have to plan. There are questions that must be answered. Today's filler word is okay. Yeah, it's sometimes I have something to talk about, and sometimes my brain really needs me to think about how I'm going to attach the legs to this skink. But there's no narration to go with it. Okay, let's put some elbows. See, I did it again. Now I'm just going to notice it every time. Now that I've realized I'm doing it. More tools. I'm using all the... Ah, no. You are not well enough stuck. We will fix that. You must be well adhered. Okay. No. Every time I start talking and I'm saying it, I'm never going to unhear it now. Trying to get the legs. They go back, and now I'm going to let them kind of sit for a second, because I'm a little bit worried I'm going to break them off. Because as you remember, I don't like this clay. I'm never going to let it forget it. Also, hey Junior Newman 42? I'm going to go with Junior Newman 42. Or JR Neiman42. Hello, thanks for joining chat. I promise I don't always talk about my linguistic oddity habits. Usually I talk about sculpting and art and sometimes tapirs with rabies, but that's neither here nor there. Just put all the legs on and then worry about it later is what we'll do. At least we made a clear point where they go back here, where it has a bit of a dent for legs. I don't have the faintest idea what I'm going to do with the fact that the outside legs are like right on the edge of the lid. They can't really go over onto the teapot. Oh, these angle forward, not backward. They angle towards the front. Now I'm reading chat. Just 5 lines skink. Yeah, I tuck them against the body. I kind of want them to be wrapped around the edge of the, or I want the little feet to be wrapped around the edge of the lid, but I have concerns that that's asking for broken toes. But I feel like it should be possible. I feel like it's a thing I should be able to accomplish. Just to kind of have it clinging onto the lid. So now it's got little stick legs. Okay. Now the question is the clay gonna, yep, it's gonna break immediately. Cool. Have I mentioned that I don't like this clay a few times today? Has it come up yet? Ah, just a hot mess. Okay, clearly what I need to do is bend it before I put it on. Gotta do some problem solving here. Sorry, I know that you guys hate it when I dismember clay animals. I know that you find it very traumatic. But it already broken its leg. So I feel like, you know, it had to happen. Not a fan of this clay. See, it's gonna happen on all of them now. See, it's just gonna, they're just gonna break. They're gonna break when I try and bend them. I'm gonna attempt with the back ones to be a little bit more, the front ones easier to put back on. It's the sand. The sand makes the the flexibility of the clay much less. Yep. Welcome back, Shep. It's the obligatory bit of pottery stream where I complain that I am trapped in shelter in place with 50 pounds of clay I don't like. And then I rip parts off of animals. Yep. Right on schedule. You know, if it were, I thought the sand would act more like the grog, and it doesn't. I think the grog just adheres to the clay better. Have fun with D&D Otenchi 3. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry it was a lizard instead of a snake. But there was a Twitter poll. Okay. Just axolotls? What? Oh, that can't grow. Right. That skinks can't grow arms back. I've caught up with what was happening. At this rate, when I said cover a teapot in skinks, what I apparently meant was one. We'll spend 3 hours doing one skink. And I will complain the whole time. Oh dear. It needs something. Like it's such a big blank teapot canvas. I see that the sun has conveniently moved so that it's in my view. Okay, we're gonna reattach these back legs, and then I'm gonna take a quick break. The usual halfway through break where I make myself more caffeine before I die of withdrawal. But also I will fix the lighting. I thought I had the sun block thing in the right place, and I was wrong. I will fix the lighting, and I will bring my tools back from the kitchen. And everything will be fine. I'm sure that it will all work out. Nope. Optimism. Just stick that there. There we go. Now. Shrug emoji skink. Okay. Unpleasant sand clay. Don't make me take back the you're good at slab building compliment I gave you earlier. I think I'm going to make a shorter one of these hex teapots and then make the top covered in succulents like it's a flower pot. That would be fun, right? Right? Not like skinks, which have tiny legs I have to figure out how to deal with. Oh no. No. Just succulents. Succulents are also covered with tiny fiddly parts, but we could pretend that's not the case. It'll be, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay. Just anchoring everything down in the hopes that nothing breaks. Okay, it's got legs. I'm not as angry at it as I was a second ago. Succulents definitely do not have legs. That's definitely a true statement. Okay, this clay has gotten awfully dry. Let's just dip it in water and set it over there. Ah, yes, this the other beginning of skink clay. Okay, set that there for a minute. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break because I need to move a curtain and I'm out of tea. Back in a few minutes. While I'm gone, I don't have a question for you guys to ponder during my break today. So I feel like what you should talk about is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, because Hannah just brought up Babylonian accountants. And yeah, talk about the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and how I could somehow incorporate that into this teapot. 'Cause why not? And I will see you in a couple of minutes after I've retrieved my tools, fixed the lighting, and made tea. Be right back. Watercolor tattoos. Well, see, I've come back at an interesting moment. Eels and skinks and watercolor tattoos. But no plants have vertebrae, so does it matter? Right. Well, I fixed the lighting. Have another cup of tea. With a brand new tea bag. I didn't reuse the tea bag. I needed more caffeine than that could give. Well, Hannah, I know what I'm gonna make you draw the next time you have a stream. A vertebrate plant. That's happening. Just a spine. Ah, hooray. So I'm back to be angry at this clay some more. I feel like this clay would be really good if I were the sort of person who just built nice, clean, geometric shapes. Like, it worked really nicely for this nice, clean, hexagonal teapot. But I don't do that. I put figurative work on everything. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just the wrong clay for me. Maybe it's not anyone's fault. It's just the wrong clay for me. But it made a really good slab built hexagonal shape. So, ooh, you know what I should do? I should make a small version of this with a bigger lid and put a wren on top. I wanted to do another wren. I haven't done a wren in a while. My good tools are back. my favorite tools have returned from the kitchen where I left them. So, hooray. Yeah, so what I might do with this clay, in large part, is make a lot of like hexagonal like jars and then just put one thing on top. A quail, a wren, just one simple thing, just right on top. A quail, a wren, a cactus, just do that to try and use it up. Because I sort of made a deal with myself that I would use all 50 pounds of the buff withstand clay before purchasing more clay. Ooh, matching hex teacups. A very good idea Figment's made. I'm glad that you said that. I would not have thought of it, but it's obvious and it needs to happen. Oh yeah, I can make more. I can make more votive cows. Although I have a herd. But yeah, I think it's nice for slab building. I could also make myself some hexagonal planters. I have quite a lot of plants. So I think that I'm probably going to do a lot of that with it. Oh yeah, I could do the would the creamer just be a hexagon and then you pour it out of one of the corners, or would it be like a hexagon and then like one of it had like a you know, like a triangle spout. But yeah, so it's really good for slab building. I can roll smallish slabs on my desk. I've got a rolling pin and dowels that I use at various sizes to create the guide for how thick it goes. It's not great for my wrist. I miss the slab roller at the studio, but the studio is closed because we aren't leaving our houses. So we're gonna make do. Gonna make do with what we've got. Just do the best we can. Small flat thing. I don't. Actually, maybe the sand will help keep it from warping. I don't know. Maybe not though. Small flat things have a tendency to warp up as they dry, so they don't stay flat. It's the difficulty of making actual tiles. They're like blends of clay specifically made for tile making in an attempt to keep them from warping upwards. Any insects have to be kind of half drawn on because of tiny fiddly legs and wings. It works to a point. Google's outrageously complex flowers. Hi, Maple Rose. Yeah, I don't know. No one wanted flowers on this teapot. Flowers were not popular comparatively. Which is fair. I think what we all learned with the passion flower mug is that flowers don't actually make useful objects. Like you can only drink out of that mug from one side. It's lovely. It's a lovely passion flower mug that no one wants because it's a bad mug. It's a bad mug, and I take full responsibility for making the choices that got us there. I should probably just start using it myself. Then when I inevitably break it, it's fine. Yeah, I've considered doing that, Artcraft. I've considered doing like insects and then doing like silver wire wings and legs after the fact. But the logistics of making the holes the right size is a little bit complicated because clay shrinks as you make it and then as it dries and then as you fire it. So making the right gauge hole and making it stay the right gauge is a whole other math problem. Oh yeah, I love banana slugs. I don't see why everyone else wouldn't also love banana slugs. I think they're great. I mean, you know, don't lick them or anything. Hello, polyester kit. We're doing well. We're making a skink for the lid of our hexagonal teapot. I say we're doing well. So far, I've ripped all the legs off and had to reattach them, and I've complained a lot about the kind of clay I'm using. So I think maybe chat isn't sure we're doing well. Chat may have concerns. Yeah, don't lick slugs in general. I say chat may have concerns, but I did just pronounce don't lick banana slugs, so possibly they're distracted by that. Just life advice. Don't. Trying to delicately do the legs without accidentally nudging his tiny face. And disrupting. Okay. It's getting there-ish. Am I at an appropriate focus for where I'm working? I ask myself. And then attempt to use my mouse with my left hand. That's right. Real pro streamer me. Manual focus adjustment. But look, it's better than letting it autofocus because that was just madness. Oh dear. Slugs have gone dark in chat. Learning about parasites. Friday tea time. But you know, let's put toes on a lizard, shall we? I need a new tool. I need this tool. Because what I want is for the toes, that's why I sort of squished this down. Because I want the toes to be really well attached, like the tail, to the surface. So not quite drawn on, but they're close. Sorry, new people in chat. In case you didn't know, sometimes we go hard on farm reality here at Friday Tea Time. But banana slugs are very attractive. Yeah, Hannah, I would say we're not normally like this, but we're normally like this. It's true. It's true. We are a very specific demographic. We are on Friday Tea Time. It's just the way we are. I mean, that's so good. I'm never gonna forget. I'm never gonna forget the stream at which we learned that some people do not believe Australia exists. The stream where we learned that some people think that Australia is a hoax. And me being like, but you can go there. We know Australia exists. It's right there. Ah, yes. Good times. Good times on stream. How many toes do I have to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 toes. Well. That means I need fewer toes. Seems fine. Oh, second camera is in the way of my tea, apparently. So yeah, Australia, definitely a place, definitely exists. That was the same. That was the same stream at which we learned about bin chickens, and and a cheese catastrophe, as I recall, and a meat rain. It was a weird day. Um, yeah, actually, I feel like we're kind of back on form now. I feel like the slugs kind of brought us back to our more usual extreme oddness. We got a little we got a little preoccupied with the state of the world, and we're a little bit normal for a while. I mean, aside from giving all of the birds weapons, I feel like we haven't had as many good weird stories lately. I mean, to be fair, chickens just they look really delicious, and I can't fault Beamer for wanting to catch them and and to do with them what nature intended. Oh yeah, maybe you'll get more bin chickens now. Now if you stay inside and socially distance. I've got to say that I was just like vaguely disappointed when it, to discover that bin chickens are just ibis. They're just perfectly fine normal ibis. I don't know, I was expecting something different and exciting and weird. But no, Australia's just mad at the ibis that raid their bins. Okay. Almost done with little toes here. Hey, remember how I said I was gonna cover a teapot in lizards? I'm gonna put one lizard on a teapot. Um, maybe two, maybe one and a half. That's where we're gonna get to. How ambitious was I? To be like, yes, all of the lizards, just covered in lizards. Lizards, it turns out, are harder than snakes. That's my word of wisdom for the day. Lizards more difficult to sculpt than snakes. Well, it'd be the half without legs. It'd be a legless lizard. It would still probably be fine. Let's put its little toes over the rim over the rim of the lid here. Let's see. I have to remember it's the short toe first, then a medium toe, and then long toes, and then another short toe. Just, trying to remember how lizard feet are arranged. Yeah, I used to have raccoons that had gotten into the underside of my house and lived under there. And raccoons are just not afraid of you. You approach a raccoon outside at dark and it just looks at you and growls like it's gonna take you. It's like, come at me. You're like, no. I'm concerned. I don't want to be a part of this. I feel like there needs to be a comma there, Shep. Like, no, comma, raccoons are afraid of me, as opposed to no raccoons are afraid of you, which means that no raccoons, they're not afraid of you, which, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that wasn't what you were saying, although maybe it was. But, but city raccoons city raccoons have unearned confidence. Because, because no one has the power to hurt them. Anyway, I found out where they were getting in and put an exclusion trap up, and went under the house and fixed all of the ducts they'd ripped apart, and never want to do that again. The end. So, raccoons around here don't believe that you can do them any harm. City people should eat more turkey. What? Why? Specifically? Oh, you mean in California we're not allowed to murder the turkeys? No hassling the turkeys? I don't think it's ever occurred to me to try hassling a turkey. Largely, I've just hoped that turkeys have left me alone when I have encountered them. Okay, little toes on the side. Gonna try and tidy it up here so that you can see that these toes are the longer two. Good, good, good. 2 feet with toes. Still goes onto the, you can't see that. I've done a thing that you can't see again. I don't have to roll things out. It can sit there for a minute. So, lid. Back foot toes. Oh no, they might be scientists. An entire flock of turkeys chased you? In heels? Oh no. Heels and a pencil skirt. That sounds extremely dramatic. Oh, they might be scientists. I love your stories. I love that the explanation of that story is I was dressed up to talk about malaria. It's just so good. It's fair. Turkeys are a problem. Um, well, turkeys do come in flocks. Although I don't know. Yeah, the most of the turkey issues I've ever had were largely one single sort of unhappy tom turkey, or alternately cheerfully aggressive tom turkey. I mean, maybe happiness is the wrong gauge. Okay, back toes. I noticed I said okay again. I was so good when I didn't know I was doing it. Now that I know I'm doing it, it's gonna keep keep coming up. It will bother me forever. Yeah, we've got turkeys around here too. California has a turkey problem. I mean problem. It has turkeys. I don't know. I don't know if it's fair to call them a problem. They were probably here first. Um, yeah, places where people are allowed to have a season where they shoot them um, creates a bit more of a sense of concern and caution in the turkey population. Oh no. My attempt to. So they've got sort of one like extra long sort of back toe. I'm trying to get that in there without sort of digging too far into the lid. I don't know. It seems fine. Seems fine. Seems like it's working so far. Out here in the country, we do not put up with aggressive poultry. Yeah, it's so um the weirdest thing for me was not in fact the turkeys. It was early on in my moving from country to city. Back in college, when I realized that in the city squirrels are not afraid of you. And that was wrong. That was incorrect. Squirrels are very small and fragile and they should be terrified at all times. Oh no, baby plants. I hope that all of the baby plants are safe from the frost. My tomatoes did fine when it got down almost to the 30s. And my baby rose is okay too, so I think that maybe it's springtime again here now and it's safe. think it's safe for my baby tomatoes and the rose that I accidentally grew in a vase. After years of failing to get any roses to root from cuttings at all, I accidentally did one. Like I come from a land where squirrels are terrified. Yeah, I got a yellow rose with a really nice scent. And I was like, this is a mistake. This rose will die. And now it's like 5 feet tall, and very aggressively growing. And I last year cut a bloom off of it and put it in a vase in my window and kind of left it because the leaves were still green, and then it grew roots. And I was like, I guess I have 2 rose bushes now. Yeah, that's the thing. Squirrels are not. Squirrels should be afraid. Squirrels can be eaten. And in California, squirrels are not afraid. All right, because this is starting to get dry, I think we're gonna do this now. I was gonna wait and do it at the end, but I think we need to do our scales now before everything gets too dry. Get some texture on that lizard. There we go. Just really, I don't, can you see my scale pattern? I feel like you cannot. I feel like I will have to focus. Oh yeah, squirrel's not a thing in Australia. All of your animals are weird and different. There we, no, come on. You were in perfect focus for a hot second. Ah, close focus is hard. There we go. So, just a really subtle pattern. Hopefully, I think I'll do this in a clay that, or a glaze that breaks. Hopefully you'll get to see the texture. Because skinks don't have very big scales is the thing. So I can't just aggressively do like the snake texture. So maybe it'll just disappear when I glaze it, but hopefully not. Hopefully. Now I'm just fiddling. Hopefully it'll be hopefully it'll stay. Anyway, let's smooth some toes a little bit there. Good. So, one more foot to go. Finish this toe here. Tidying up. I say tidying up. I feel like I'm actually making it a little bit less tidy. Accidentally. It's fine. Because one more foot. And this one is on this side. Oh yeah, these legs are almost leather hard already. It's quite warm and sunny. Clay is drying quickly. Is this still? Yeah, I'll just keep this damp behind me. There we go. So, final How is it kind of goes like there and then it's gonna kind of have to go over the lip, I think. I think we'll cut into the lip a little bit. And that will kind of be like it's gripping around it. I think that's what we'll have to do. It's been cold and rainy here for quite a while, so I'm actually pretty excited that it's sunny and that my clay is drying quickly. I want to go and sit on my deck. I enjoy the socially distanced outdoors. There's like a 9-foot fence wall around my deck. No one can get in. It's just me and my 4-foot rose bush. Okay. Do that one sort of short first toe there. And then the others kind of wrap around. How many? 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Counting toes again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it has to go all the way around. You might turn it over to look. Oh no. Shep. It's the way of the world. Inclement weather, that means the most inconvenient things. Okay. Toes. Verbal tick. Forever annoying me now. Toes. Almost done. Look, how was she know that she was coming to the garage to be spoiled? Who knows where you wanted to take her? All of her sheep friends are over there. Yeah, we had a bunch of April rain, which is not normal. It's just sort of a generally odd weather year here. I wonder if literally 75% of the cars disappearing from the roads has changed the weather patterns. Feels like a thing that could happen. Okay. feeling like the toes are pretty good wrapped around. All right. So we have a skink. We've done a skink. Covered in lizards, I say. But it's a very pleasing circle. Wait, Krakatoa just erupted? Really? Really? Ah. I felt like the apocalypse was going to be shorter and more one note, is all I'm saying. It's just, I felt like it would. I feel like it would take a lot less time and be a lot less involved. Oh, good. Well, cool. Okay. Krakatoa just erupted and sent a plume of volcano mess up to 47,000 feet in the air. We're gonna die like dinosaurs. Neat. Okay. Yeah, it's that. So that's that. Like I said something recently on Twitter about how like I keep having these moments when I've got like a job. I've got normal work to do. I mean, this is also work, um, but like a day job, such as it is. Um, and I'm working on it, being like, why is this still a thing? Like, should we all not be focused on the other thing? Like, surely at this point we're busy, right? Like, we're all doing the apocalypse now. We agreed. Yeah, I feel like this is oh dear. Yep. Gotta laugh. It's the only option. So the interesting thing about my day job is that I actually I do a lot of animation for nonprofits dealing with various problems in the world. And kind of the most frustrating slash odd slash disheartening thing is that all of the other problems are still there. It's like, but this, and they're like, yeah, but like, there's still like a refugee crisis and stuff, so we're still working on that. It's such an odd sensation. Okay. Second lizard. Move this back this way. Although I did do some some how to shelter in place PSA animation towards the beginning of this mess. So we have done topical animation as well, but it's in there, kind of like that. But yeah, it's oh no, you guys haven't banned gatherings yet? Or do Nazis not pay attention to the rules? I feel like that didn't work. I don't like the position there. Got to work a little bit more on the face. Oh, okay. You have, and they're just like, it's fine. Well, I mean, don't. I feel like don't show up. Let them gather. Possibly one of them has coronavirus. Although then they put everyone around them at risk, which is really unfair of them. But I guess Nazis. Oh dear. So, yeah. Times is tough. Apparently volcanoes are now erupting. The weather is weird. But I still have clay. And a day job, somehow. Trying to think of nice good news things. I found a place to get the good clay. It's in Sacramento, so that's a haul. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it for the Navajo wheel with grog. That's a better location for the eye. Yep, that's a better face. It's starting to crack. Okay. Yes, I know, Clay. I know you don't want to be held in this position for this long. I understand how traumatic it is for you. It's not what you were meant for. I know. But you're just gonna have to give me a second. Yeah, I don't. Sacramento feels like it's not that far away if there's no traffic. Yeah, sure. I'll tell you, Shep, when I end up going. As I said, I made a deal with myself that I would use this clay. That I would do something with all of this clay. But my preferred local clay supply closed, like before this, like closed, not just temporarily closed. And the other places don't carry a couple of the clays I quite like. They don't carry the Night, which is the black clay that I've been using, and they don't carry the Navajo wheel with grog. So it's going to be a big clay resupply run out to Sacramento at some point. And they are open doing contactless pickup of orders. So So at some point I will need more clay. Oh no. And then I will make my way out to Sacramento. I don't think that black clay will work for a low fire slip. It fires chocolate brown at a low fire, and it needs to be fired up to cone 5 or 6 to get to be black. Unfortunately, I think that you have to do the cool like actual Greek process to low fire black. Okay, good. Face. Oh, cracking everywhere. Sticking it down to the... Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You sent me a thing that described like a firing process. That might be part of it. For getting the black. I'm just gonna try and mark where this goes. It's, yeah, I mean, you can't, I feel like you don't want to have to build the kiln. There's probably just dye you could use to cheat. You could just mix black coloring in to like a regular slip. And that would probably do it. Yeah, that's the only, without sort of the careful process firing controls. Yeah, sit might do it. I don't know how much you'd need or how well it sets. As carbon black for pottery as opposed to mineral black, a different mineral black. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Sticking another lizard, another skink. This one also looking up just a little bit. Has apparently a smaller body and a larger head. I don't know how it happened, but that's what it is. Also, gonna need to take the lid off again. This clay is too stiff now. I'm mad about it. Because I'm gonna have to carve into it again. Oh, but California has all of those things that I'm not allowed to go to because I'm sheltering in place. Taking bits of clay off here. I think that we'll adhere this nicely, and then we'll do, I guess, murder quail, whatever you guys want to do with this lump of clay is what we'll do at the end in the last 15 minutes or so. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Ash, oh no, I don't know what to do with a volcanic eruption as the new bit of the apocalypse. That's just it's like it's too much. It's kind of too on the nose. It's too silly. Like if I read about it in a book, I'd be like, nah, it's too much. You had one apocalypse. That was enough. Like that was fine. Quail is what I'm hearing. Is what we want to do now. After I properly adhere the lizard down. Yeah, like it just, it's I bought it for a while, but now it's getting a little bit silly. I feel like there's too much tail. I feel like I got too excited. Oh well. That's fine. I dinged the surface a little bit. I recognize the second camera has nothing right now, but what can you do? A quail in a toga? A quail in a torque? Toga. Okay, toga quail is what I'm hearing settled upon. So that's what we'll do. I have to finish this tail now, because otherwise it's gonna get really dry and difficult to deal with. So gonna have to bear with me just for the moment while I do the thing we were supposed to do, which is work on making a lizard. Just trying to deal with the tail without cutting into the teapot surface. Okay, good. Good. So far, so good. Need a better taper. Not tapier. Taper. Okay. I did not ask you if this is where we should put the lizard. It's just what happened. I made an executive decision. Sometimes this happens. Also trying hard not to accidentally crush down my nice curve here. Good. So legs there. Lift your little head up some more. And maybe a little bit more off along here. Quail, Romans, and country birds. Come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Okay. Almost. Said okay again. Nearly there. I feel like this tail is a little bit ludicrous. I feel like I might have to add some clay to the lizard body just to justify the length of this tail. But that's fine. I have that power. In fact, let's do that now before we get too far along. Just add a little bit of breadth here. Try to make it a little bit. That's gonna be better when I fix it, when I solve it. Smooth it out. Yeah, so now here's where the tail kind of starts. Now he's a bigger lizard. It turns out bigger than the other lizard, not smaller than, which was the original plan, but you know, things happen. Okay. Yeah, so they can just drape down the side. Because we don't have the same problem we had with the lid. On the lid side, oh yeah, that is actually more of a problem. Right up close to its little skink body, I guess. Okay. Now I have to stop myself from doing it. Gonna have to embark on some kind of quest to pick something new to fill space with and restart sentences. But yes. The tail is attached. I'm feeling pretty okay about how well it is attached. I feel it like it will remain properly adhered. Which is good and to the point. Now I'm just going to do what I did with the other one and go around smoothing the edges underneath, which you can't see on either camera now. So sorry about that, but 'tis necessary. And unlike First Lizard, I can't just pick it up. Good. So, moving this out of the way. Fully out of the way. We're going to put the paper back here. We're going to, aha, I have more clay on this sponge, hidden. Good. Because it's starting to already dry out, so I'm just going to cover it now before I move it. And put it all the way in the back. Ah! That's crooked and I'm going to have to fix it later. That's fine. All right. Toga quail. Here we go. Testing my quail speed. How fast can I make a quail? In a toga, which is different. It's gonna hurt my process, my well-memorized quail forming process. It's gonna be a pretty large quail. Maybe we'll slip paint it. Because I'm just gonna use the clay that I've got. Just all the clay that's out. It's just occurred to me that maybe on the lid side of the other lizard, its toes are going to be pinched under the lid. Oh no. So that every time you put the lid on, you're squidging its little toes. Hello, Cascadia Studio. It's the final quail. I was trying for a final countdown joke, did not work. Make a pun for me, chat. Okay. How am I gonna incorporate? Ooh, streaming comics feels extremely difficult. Too much thinking while you're trying to talk. Oh, now you want a toga and a laurel wreath? now you want everything. It's fine. I think I'm going to have to pinch a little bit off the front. So we can manage it. I can't have a toga and a hat. I mean, his head could be bare. Still haven't totally worked out how quail wear togas. So we'll see. Very serious about quail, especially in hats. I tried to mute it so I could sneeze, and then the sneeze died. Ugh. Murder quail. I mean, the toga feels like we don't want to detract from like the toga is enough, right? The toga is the thing. I'm not on my quail game today. Ah, there we go. At last. The quail face. Okay. That's better. All right, now, toga. So usually we've got the wing there like that. So how does a quail wear a toga? Oh dear. Yeah, it's look, it got a little dark. We're all a little on edge. If only we were in a better written disaster movie. But now we're gonna have a quail and a toga. I might have to get clay on my computer and Google toga. Could somebody else Google toga and link it to me in the chat so all I have to do is click? That'd be cool. I don't want to get too much clay on my computer. because I feel like just gonna do the usual things. Thank you. Good. This woodcut looking line drawing will be what I use. Don't wanna overcomplicate this. All right, so let's see. Just gonna try to figure out how a quail wears a toga. So it kind of comes down and drapes there. And then also on this side, but we want it to kind of drape over that. So this side kind of comes like that. Except now it looks like it's cutting in, so we don't want that. We need it to look like it's on top. There we go. So then how do we, let's see. And it's just a line around the back. Yes. Not too much. I hope I'm on camera. I'm covering everything but chat with this image of a toga. So I hope everything's fine. Let me know if it's not. I can't see what I'm doing. Can't see what I'm doing because I've got a picture of a toga on my screen. But I assume it's fine. That was too much water. I have regrets. Solve it in a minute. There we go. Okay. So this is the drapey side. Draping fabric. I'm having flashbacks to like art school drawing practice. Oh good, I'm glad I'm still like on camera and everything. Gotta do some voluminous drapery here. You know, as you do. So yeah. This is the sort of front drape of that. Then it's got, we're gonna go with some sort of decorative pattern going on. I don't know if that's reasonable, but screw it, says I. Needs a decorative collar, I feel. That gets kind of folded under there. And then where does it, yep, comes down here. That was a little bit much. And also kind of folds under there. Yeah, I mean, it's a fancy toga. Of course it's a fancy toga. Of course it's a fancy toga. Well, this pattern got like a lot bigger all of a sudden. Oh well. Oh well. It's fine. Because, you know, because fancy. There we go. And then let's see. Wings, but like, but then it kind of drapes like over them. So like there's the sort of sleeve. Then yep. I don't know how the back is going to resolve itself. There are wings. So let's hope that works out. And then, oh yeah, okay. This needs to go up some. Yes, yes. Because this is a drapier drape. Trust me. This side covers more of the wing. So actually, this line goes to there. And this is wing feathers. Okay. Ah, yes. The can you make a toga with fabric in your house already game. Everyone plays at least once in their life. Okay. And I guess then we're just going to sort of suggest that it's fabric all around after that. All drapey and whatnot. And then sleeve pattern, you know, to match the collar pattern. Because of course. And still need the wings. And tail. And where's my little stamp? Oh Lord, who knows where my little stamp is? I have the broken end. Ah, did I drop it in there? Really? Also, why do I have, just gonna point this out, I have one well of this, oh there it is, I have one well of my tool cup filled with pencil shavings, and I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. It's been that way for years. Never emptied it. Anyway, this is what I was looking for. My little feather stamp. So that we can have the appropriate feathery quail. There we go. Then just some little lines. And then the ones that go up here. Oh dear. Reddit history. So let's just do a quick once over. Where do we need extra definition? Make sure that we have a good clear toga. Oh, that got a little bit out of hand. A little bit too clear. Okay. So, toga, drapey. Just tidy up our face a little bit there. All right, it's time for the important bit. It's time for the eyes. Where should we put them? There? Yes. All right. Those are very crooked. Oh no. Hang on. We can... That's a little bit less crooked. It's fine. It's probably fine. Okay, I take it back. It's not fine. It bothers me and I can't. Hang on. I gotta fix this. Which side do I like better? He looks offended on that side, so I'm gonna go with the other side. I'm gonna go with the supercilious Roman one. Sorry, everybody. Trauma. But I promise everything will be fine. Just gotta be more careful. Ah, that's better. That's even. Phew. Solved. Yeah. There we go. Gonna smooth some stuff out here. Try and give him a little bit more shape. There we go. All right. You asked for it. You got it. Toga quail. Just gonna... That's... Make sure he sits nicely. And toga quail. Toga quail is now a thing that fully exists. Because you wanted it. Just gonna refine this bit here. There we go. You asked for it, you got it. A quail in a toga. So here's the thing, I'm afraid a wreath is just gonna like crumble. Like I'm concerned because it's just gonna be... Hang on, I'll use this tiny bit of clay to show you the problem. It's basically just gonna be, I feel like you can't see because it's not in focus, but basically it will be so small that I am concerned that it will just, yeah, like when it's just coming apart in my hands as I try and do anything with it. This particular clay, let's just take a moment to complain about the clay one more time, shall we? This particular clay is not good for very small things. The smaller it gets, the less clay there is, the more sand is in the way. It's not great. It's not ideal. It's bad clay. It's not bad clay. It's just not the clay that I wanted it to be for the thing that I wanted to do. It's fine. Everything is fine with the clay. But that is where we're going to stop. My cat wants me to feed him. I want to feed me. And we've sort of done what we started out to do. So we've got a toga quail. Toga quail. And then all the way in the back, just unwrap it for the clothes. I've wrapped it too well. I have. Gonna have to flatten the base again. Okay. And this is where we got to with the lizards. So, toga quail and lizards. It's a pretty good toga. I'm actually pretty pleased with the toga quail. We'll carry on with lizards. I promise there will be lizards. I'll give this one legs. Maybe I'll put one up the side. Maybe I won't. I'll definitely put a handle on the. Oh, maybe I'll put one on the handle. I don't know. Anyway, we'll finish this. But it's a good start. I've worked out how the tails and the toes should go on and adhere properly, and I'm feeling okay about it. Seems like a pretty solid day's work. Thanks for joining me for Friday tea time. The usual wrap up. You could become a member of my Patreon if you want. $2 will get you access to all the posts. I post line art in high resolution for coloring books and stuff. $5 will get you sketch requests, and $10 will get you a print in the mail, even now in this time of hard to mail. So think about that. These will all go up as usual on YouTube if you want to rewatch streams or watch something you haven't missed. And the next stream will be Monday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And I'll see you then. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay inside. and I will see you then. Bye.